All right, guys, this is Danny with the Crypto Show, and I am here with Andrey and Pavel of Zano. I'm off camera because my hair's not good right now. Nah. Anyway, I'm with the Crypto Show, and we're doing the Nonconformist series, which is the prelude to Anarchapulco. This is the newest thing that we've been doing as a virtual series. And one of the projects that I've been most impressed with is Zano. So I'm here with the two lead developers, and actually, Andrey, go ahead, Andrey, tell us about your history with Monero, because kind of OG, you got some cred there.
Yeah, it's like a long story. Let's a long story short. Like back in 2013 and 14, I was working on the startup project called Cryptonaut, and then the launch was like all screwed up, and I left the project, and also other people on the internet found this project, so they liked it, and they took over the fork of this, and it's named Monero, and now it's the most recognized privacy project, I believe, in the area, which I'm really glad to have it. And we've been doing our own way all these 10 years, and we've been building technology in a different direction, different way, and that's what we are doing with Pavel here. Like me, Pavel, and the team, we're building, and I can explain what Zano is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the whole idea since the very beginning, because we was doing like multiple iterations, what we're building, did like pivots, and right now we are really happy with what we're doing right now. Zano is a platform for whoever want to build a privacy token themselves. They can use Zano as a platform and deploy tokens there, and that's all this transfer with this token will be as private as the native coin, native Zano. So it's basically what we're doing is creating a platform for whoever want to build a stable coin or a gold-backed coin or whatever asset will be. So we're like in a very simplified, we could kind of creating like some sort of Ethereum ERC20, but for the privacy, with all privacy context in it.
Does it offer you the same features as Ethereum? I mean, how does it differ from Ethereum?
No,
like I can't make an NFT or whatever, put my I can't put my balls on the internet.
Yeah, you can like make.
I mean, you absolutely can. Why not?
Yeah.
You can do NFT, but we are, as I said, we are like super simplifying. No, we cannot make EVM machine on top of privacy chain, because like all stuff is hidden. I mean, we may come up to some hybrid system in some future, because we are constantly bouncing ideas about this, because this is what people want. But like we have a really strong technical limitation, because privacy is supposed to hide everything, and to operate with a virtual machine, you have to have the numbers, and all amounts are hidden, address are hidden. You don't see the balances. So basically, that's the reason why. But we managed to build user experience very similar to what people have in ERC20, so you can deploy your token with some known emission, you can mint more, burn it, and you can transfer. And whenever it comes to transfer, it's like super private. It's have the same privacy as all transfers in Zano. And people from outside, like a third-party observer, when he look into transaction, he doesn't know how much money is sent, he doesn't know who is the sender receiver. He cannot link transaction, and which is the coolest part, he doesn't even know what type of assets are transferred in this transaction. So it's like totally hidden.
Oh wow! I have one of the assets. I actually created one on Zano. I was hoping that everybody would know what it is, because it's called FedWow, and the ticker is CBDC. So I thought it was going to be transparent. I guess I got it wrong, but
no.
Yeah. Well, some of it is. You can actually look it up on the Block Explorer. But the only thing that is visible to third party is the asset ID, the ticker, and some metadata. This is how you could do NFTs as well. You can put the block of data and link to the picture, and a limited supply at one. This is going to be the NFT then. It's still an asset, and it's still transferable, and no one knows where it's being sent right now, but it's there, and you can verify the ownership, and you can also have a metadata attached to the asset.
Yeah, I'm working with a project. It's a Zcash fork, and we were going to use the memo field actually to be able to do that. So the idea I had was to use Onion Share to have videos or whatever, and then just send the Onion Share hash Right. I mean, you could just send IPFS, but we're trying to be private, right?
That's what it's
so
for.
that was kind of the idea.
Well, the thing is, we're not enforcing anything. You can use IPFS, you can use onion share, whatever you put in the metadata, and however you want that link to be rendered on the website. If you build the Explorer for NFTs, if you teach it to read IPFS, that would be it.
Okay. Yeah, I was really impressed with it because I guess right when it first started, I was able to make this on the mobile. I made my asset on the mobile app, not on the desktop. So that was pretty impressive. You guys have a really nice wallet. So.
Yeah, that was an important addition because when we released the option to create tokens, people were kind of excited, but there's like a steep and learning.
Because how are you going to show somebody like, hey, come over to my mom's basement. I want to show you the shit on the computer.
Yeah, and you launch.
No, I got to show it to you on my phone.
You have to launch a online interface. You need to feed a JSON file with parameters. I mean, it worked on a technical level. It worked, but it was so unuser friendly. This is why we rushed to add it to the mobile wallet. It even been released before the desktop wallet because people wanted to do it on the go.
Yeah. I want to ask about the assets and stuff and all that. But I was listening to a talk earlier just before your partner Crypto Sowell did his talk, and there was a guy talking about how your emission rate and all that, and it was kind of saying that you had this large. Tell me about your emission rate and your fees, and
What was it said?
I guess what I'm trying to say is your dev tax and all that.
We don't have dev tax. Our emission is 1 coin per block, flat emission forever.
Flat emission.
Yeah, there's no dev tax. We had a pre-mine back then.
A pre-mine, okay.
Yeah, we have it in a dev fund. It's transparent and auditable. You can see it in a block explorer, and it's been sitting there like forever.
Right.
So I don't know what was the concern, like the fact that we have.
I only caught part of the conversation. He was rating coins on.
Well, that seemed arbitrary to me, and obviously those comparisons should always bias to the project you're rooting for. So I don't know if I have. And
so the block reward is what, 1 coin per block?
Yep.
And at what rate does it?
1 block per minute.
1 block per minute.
Yep.
So there's 1 coin every minute.
Yes, yes, and they distributed equally between proof of work, proof of stake because we have a hybrid consensus.
Like the way he had actually explained Grin, but Grin is 1 per second?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't really matter because it's where you put decimal, those numbers are meaningless. You can have like 100 coins per block, assuming you have a high supply. Our supply is like 13 million, so 1 coin per block is good enough.
And there's no cap, it just...
No cap, no. Our emission is like, it's called tail emission.
Yeah.
There is no cap, but we also burn all fees for the transaction on the Zano blockchain, and that includes native Zano transfers and also confidential asset transfers.
Okay, so when you're burning the fees, it's not that big of an issue because...
Well, idea is to compensate the endless emission with the consistent fee burns. This is why we endorse project to build on Zano, because they all contributed transaction flow and they all burn fees.
So you also have aliases. Explain, how do you use aliases? How can I create my own alias? And
do you want to say this one?
I want a little bit add to the previous topic about the emission curve, because this is actually unfair to us, because Zano originated from Bulbury. Bulbury is a project I launched in 2014, and in the Bulbury, and then we made a coin swap from Bulbury holders into Zano, because Zano is completely different thing. It's a proof of stake with a different rule, so we just let people who want to migrate into Zano.
Right.
But the emission curve of Bulbury was like a smaller, like slower than even Monero. It was like very similar to Bitcoin. I made it like a Bitcoin emission curve. So, and the significant part of the holders and the coins came from Bulbury actually. So, in that terms, the emission curve of Zano that like originated 2014 was like slower than Monero. So it's not fair to say it was not fair. I mean, it was well distributed and slower distributed between proof of work miners. And maybe it was addressed that we have a dev fund. That's the issue for some people. And we did it. And specifically in Zano, we created specifically for the dev fund, we created auditable wallets. So between the whole privacy, the dev fund is transparent and everybody can verify that how much money is there. So
Right.
yeah, so yeah, and that's how we're running this all day. So you can speak about aliases.
Okay. All right. So what was that about? Aliases. Yes.
Yeah.
Aliases is the centerpiece of Zano ecosystem. Up until recent, it was just a fancy handle for your address. So you don't have to type the crazy amount of numbers. So you can just put @Ravaga. This is my alias, and whenever you said something to that alias, I'll get it. But since we are moving to, like, people call it Web3, I don't really like the term, but let's define it like this to be like easier to explain.
Right.
We have a set of web applications right now. For example, we have a Zano Dex, Zano Trade, and we use alias with extension as a login. We launching a Matrix server where you can also use alias as a login. So this is like your ID on the Zano ecosystem, and you can use it to send messages, to log in into apps, or also send transfer, like it always been. So that's the alias part.
Okay. All right.
It's your ID on Zano chain.
And building other things, like marketplaces and all this. You guys are working on building decentralized marketplaces and exchanges, or
well, we're not exactly.
What are all the ideas that are coming out of the dApps? Because I heard about Darrow early on. It seems like you guys are actually doing what Darrow said they would do, but.
Well, I cannot comment on the Darrow issue because I'm not familiar with it.
I didn't know. I mean, it was the only thing that I knew around of that had these different ideas.
Well, what we are trying to do, we're trying to provide a framework, a set of tools for other builders to build on. Mm-hmm. And as marketplace go, obviously we don't want to run a marketplace, but we provide the API for people to be able to launch their own store. And it's been like this forever. I think there are at least a couple of people working on their own version of the marketplace. I cannot comment on the time frame where it's getting released, but they post regular updates in our Discord, so maybe that's a way to learn about it. Apart from that, a couple of notable projects is a confidential layer, the bridging application that would allow public assets be wrapped on Zano blockchain. Mm-hmm. And other way as well, but that's the most important part. You get to have your Bitcoin and access to Bitcoin liquidity, and also all the privacy feature of the Zano chain. Same applies to Ethereum tokens. So that's one of the cool things. I'm really excited.
This is the Zarkanium layer of Zano, right?
Well, Zarkanium is the term that we use
for those things.
Yeah. Because originally when we planned Zarkanium, that was a proof of stake, anonymous proof of stake update. But later we implemented confidential assets, and we just lumped them together in one hard fork. This is why it's sometimes confusing. What do we mean when we say Zarkanium? So it's like a whole stack of the technology being brought live this spring.
Right.
And yes, it uses
are you
confidential
purely?
access.
This is a purely proof of stake, or are you a hybrid proof of stake, proof of work?
We're hybrid.
Okay.
There's still some issues proof of stake cannot fight. I can get Andrey to comment on this specifics.
So you do have proof of work as well, right?
Yes, we do.
So the proof of work is handling one half. Does your proof of stake also handle the governance, kind of like Dash did, or?
Yes.
How does your governance work?
Again, not sure how Dash governance works, but we do have our own governance. And essentially what happens when a staker finds the block, he gets to submit the arbitrary data with the block. Meaning we will see how many outputs voted for specific, I don't know, like whatever. We haven't had a vote yet. But there is a way to do it, and we are waiting for a proper moment to kickstart it.
Yeah. So I mean, there were with Dash. I was sponsored by Dash, and I actually used the Dash DAO for quite some time to sponsor our radio show. And I kept seeing one issue was the Dash core group was this kind of CEO corporate entity for Dash, but they weren't really. All they really were was a proposal owner. Mm-hmm. And I think that early on, this group of people had got the majority of the masternodes, so they already owned the majority of the votes. So I think that allowed them to kind of keep control and pushing things. But how do you guys like keep? Yeah, how does your governance work where you don't let it get out of control? Because there were some issues like with Dash. In Venezuela, we had all these people that were putting in proposals and getting themselves money, and they just weren't producing the results that they promised. So how do you keep? I mean, does your development side keep control of some of the governance, or is it just the stakers that get to make the decisions? Because they don't always make the best decisions.
Yeah, of course, and this is why we do not put technical decisions on vote. This is not something we would like to have people to vote on. I mean, we have a capable team, and we use the outside researchers to confirm and help us with the.
So you're able to keep a separation of church and state.
Yes,
kind of.
I mean, the Zano governance voting would be something tied to Zano emission, or something that would affect the coin holders directly, something that has nothing to do with development. And I think it's fair to say that the majority of the coin holders should have more say because they are being affected directly. Yeah. It's not about how we distribute money. It's about how we handle the emission.
Yeah.
Maybe like something like grants ecosystem, that would be also a fair way to put it.
Yeah, I think what Dash is a good model to look at to
absolutely.
See what to do and what not to do.
That's actually what is happening right now. We are reviewing other governance models, and we'll try to come up with a solution that solves, if not all of the issues, but majority of it. So we haven't yet decided on the final design for the governance, but we already have all the technical pieces in place and just working out the process now.
What are some of the things that you hope to achieve, like down the road? Do you have something else that's coming up that's going to be a real surprise?
Well, one thing I already mentioned is the confidential layer, which is a major thing for Zano and privacy in general, being able to bridge liquidity from the public chains, because if anything that we are lacking is the accessibility. Privacy is complicated. People know how to use USDT. They do not know how to use something like Monero or Zano. Yeah. And this is the easy way for them to try it. Yeah. So that's one of the things I'm particularly excited about. But I don't want to limit it to one specific project. I mean, it's more important for us to have project to be built on Zano. Yeah. This is our direction, and we. Yeah.
I'm in your Telegram, and I see a lot of action going on in there. You got a really good community, and that's like something that people overlook. That's probably the number one feature of a project is the community. Yeah, you guys got a good one. I like it.
I can't take any credit there. We onboarded a really capable marketing team this year. Up until recently, it was just a few developer nerds, and we've been doing our job fairly well. But this is nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't have eyes on it, and this is what we are working on right now.
Right. Awesome. What's the current price of Zano? Like $8 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And it was last year it was $3 maybe, or I forget.
Maybe. I don't follow markets that close.
Yeah, I don't know.
2 years ago it was like 30 to 40 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Years back it was like cents. Now it's and we are pushing double digits, so that would be nice to see.
Well, it's great to see privacy projects that are offering something else just besides just a simple transaction. Here, I think messaging is also coming up.
Yes,
what are you going to have for messaging, and how secure will that be?
Well, this is you. This is Andrey's brainchild, so I cannot take any credit.
Yeah, we're just using open source Matrix protocol. It's like a kind of common solution. It's not isolate users from just Zana. Like a domain. So we just build our own Matrix server in a safe and secure way. It's open source.
Okay, so it's just it'll be a Matrix server.
And we will have Zana Federation, and we will just let user to claim the names with Zana alias.
Okay.
So if you have an alias or fancy alias, or people know you with this alias, you just claim your name in our Zana Matrix server, and then you use this encrypted.
Do the alias? Are you familiar with FIO?
With what?
FIO. It's kind of an alias, like the Edge wallet uses this. You can create your own username in the Edge wallet, and it uses FIO as the technology. You have to buy. You basically use FIO coin to buy your name, and it secures it for X number of time.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, and it's been like forever in Zano. I mean, in the first project, like Bullberry that I launched like 2014, we had this alias thing, so I love it like since forever. And
but there's multiple. I mean, other ones like that. Yeah. I was just curious about the messaging. Did it happen on the blockchain? But
no. I think it's a weak design to blow the blockchain with the messages and store it there. I just want to add one thing. Why do we have it set up this way? Because since alias is the only handle you could see on Zano blockchain, you kind of need to make sure that you are talking to the person you think you are. For example, if you do some marketplace trade and it's completely anonymous, you don't know what are you talking about and who are you in contact with.
Yeah.
And the only thing you can actually verify is the alias ownership. That much you can tell. You can send money to that alias, you can see it, and with the messenger tied to alias, you can make sure that you are talking to the person you are trading with.
Awesome. I guess that's pretty much it, man. Thank you so much. I hope you guys will come to Anarchapulco and bring your whole crew, and we'd love to have you on stage.
Yeah, we definitely will. Maybe not the entire crew because it's quite a trip, but we'll send someone. It's probably going to be one of us.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you for inviting us.
I'm looking forward to this. Guys, go check out Zano.org. That's the website, right?
Yes, it is.
And your Twitter is Zano_org, or
I think it's Zano Project, but
Zano Project.
Well, there's a link to it on Zano.org.
Yeah, definitely check it out, guys. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.